up, everybody? Ryan the Mighty Quinn here. Some changes. You notice I didn't say the cornerman underscore MMA because we are no longer going to be the cornerman underscore MMA. We're just going to be Fight Look, just Fight Look. I feel Fight Look's what we've been doing lately. It's the way to rock, and I just like it. It's nice and easy. Fight Look. I already got a nickname, the Mighty Quinn. I don't need another one. So UFC 294 in the books. 294 and 295, whatever. Either way. Alex Pereira, Glover Teixeira, his protege, knocks out Jiri Prochazka, become UFC light heavyweight champion, with Jamahal Hill being out. Saw it coming. I felt that if you see me on Fight Bananas before the fight, I said that Alex's precision counteroffensive is going to be too much for Yuri's awkwardness, for Yuri's spastic style. Now, I felt it was a justified knockout. It reminded me a lot of when Josh Barnett got knocked out by Travis Brown against the fence. He shot in, stayed on his knees, and this is when these elbows were kind of invented. They weren't invented, but this is when they became big. Now, on top of that, he landed a bunch of strikes for sure. But let's also keep in mind how he went back. He went limp. The arm. You see the arms go like this. If the arms go like this and then he falls back, he's a mummy. He's done. It's over. You can't, especially after taking that much damage, you can't let them. The ref couldn't let him do it. I'm sure Mark Goddard. Mark's pretty vocal. He likes that attention. So I'm sure that he'll release something on Twitter, or if he hasn't already, justifying that. And a lot of people. And then on top of it, Jiri said that it was justified. I give Jiri a lot of credit. Jiri, I felt he was kind of a goofball. He fought my boy Glover. He's kind of hard not to like. He really is a humble dude, Yeah, I mean, the old samurai, he's living by the code. Good for him. Champion of the world once, one of the top fighters in the world. I'm starting to really become a fan of Jiri. But let's break down what happens next with the UFC light heavyweight division, because there's a lot there, a lot of open, so to speak. We'll work our way up. I have the current rankings are not updated. They'll be updated tomorrow by the UFC. But let's start with. We're going to start with number 6 and 5. Alexander Rakic versus Jan Blachowicz. Now, first, let's start by Jan saying you need to slow your roll, homie. He's all pissed off that Alex got Alex doesn't want to fight him next. Or I think that's ridiculous. First of all, Jan is he's not coming off a win. He fought for the title. He against Rakic. Look how that happened. They were pissed about it. They don't want to see him in the title fight again. He hasn't done anything he hasn't done anything convincing that says that he gets that rematch right now for sure. And not to mention he's matched up with Rakic, which is going to be a great fight in its own right. Everyone was pissed about that happening. Jan said himself we could run it back because he didn't want to see the fight end that way. Rakic is healthy now. Let's go to it, which is going to be a great fight. That could be a number one contender fight. Very, very much so. I think that Rakic, with what we've seen with Jan, I think that Rakic's striking keeps Jan at distance and really beats him up. I don't think he's going to get in to use any body lock wrestling that he might be good at or might be successful at against Rakic. Plus Rakic, he's got pretty good wrestling for mixed martial arts. I've trained with him. I've seen him train. I know he's trained with a lot of upper level wrestlers there. It's a horrible matchup for Blachowicz, so let's get what's on your plate off your plate, and then we could decide if we're going forward, Mr. Blachowicz, okay? But no, that could very easily be the number one contender fight. Maybe that's what they have planned. But just because that's the number one contender fight doesn't mean that they're going to fight for the title for the next fight. So we got that out of the way. Now, Magomed and Ankalaev, kind of in contendership limbo after that one fight with Johnny Walker. I know that was nobody's fault. Spur, whatever. I don't even know if they plan on running that back. But I feel he's in the same boat as Blachowicz. I don't think that they want to see him fight for the title anytime soon either. I think that I would rather see Blachowicz fight for, and I think if I speak for the fans, at this point, I'd rather see Blachowicz fight for the title than Ankalaev. Ankalaev, when he fought Blachowicz in the 5 rounds, he gassed, didn't look pretty. It was very lackluster. And I feel like against anybody on that level, that's what Ankalaev is going to end up doing. That's how he needs to be successful. He needs to be boring. He needs to make it vanilla. And I don't think anybody wants to see that. So I don't even know if they're running that back with Johnny Walker. I know that they were up for it. I don't know what's up for Ankalaev right now. But I think that he is 2 fights away from a title fight if that's what's going to happen. So, Jiri. Now, Jiri is in an interesting spot. Obviously, he just fought for his belt after he returned. Given everything else, I don't think that he goes into a number 1 contender fight either. Now, that being said, the winner of Rakic and Blachowicz could very well fight Jiri for the number 1 contender spot. I think that's very possible. I think that they like Jiri. They want to put him in a fight where he's going to bang, similar to how they did against Alex. And that fight attracts that. And I think winner of that fight can go to fight for the belt. Now, we can also circle back here. I just brought back how I said Ankalaev is 2 away. I think that the fight favors Jiri versus him and Ankalaev, but that fight sells. I think if Ankalaev can go in against Jiri and win convincingly, he might have an argument for a number 1 contender spot. He did get the win against Johnny Walker. But again, I don't think they want to do it. They might try to do this little with the 4 of them, make a little tournament, so to speak. Now, but I think that he needs to take that shot against Jiri to see if he does that. Now, let's say Jiri beats Ankalaev, and if that happens, again, I think that I don't think they're going to want Jiri to fight for the belt. I don't think they're going to want him unless maybe if Hill wins, or allude to what I was going to get. Maybe if Hill wins, they'll push that up. But I don't think Jiri fights for the belt right away after 1. I think they're going to make him do another one. I would love to see Jiri Ankalaev versus winner of Jiri Ankalaev versus winner of Jan and Rakic. Fantastic. A lot of good stuff there. See, this division is so open right now. There's so much to do with it. All right, so let's go to the top now. Jamahal Hill is going to fight for the belt on his return, similar to the way that Jiri did off his injury. Of course he is. He's going to fight the newly crowned record-breaking world champion Alex Pereira. And from what it looks like, it's going to be probably a April or May fight. He can get back to training in early. You figure you want him to train for 3 months. Maybe March, April. But I think that he fights Alex. Obviously, I feel like the first round in that fight is going to be very slow. It's kind of a toss-up. Hill has a pretty slick jab. He's got a body type that's extremely deceiving for his range. And against Alex, if he could put a little stank behind it, he might be able to catch Alex if he stays tight in here. As it's shown with Alex, as soon as you get into a firefight and you start opening up on angles, he's going to beat you with those angles all day. Hill doesn't do that. Hill is pretty good at using his striking, staying right up the middle. He's going to have to keep his hands in his face a little more, similar to how Izzy did when he was effective against Alex. And I think that's how he wins that fight. May use his wrestling, may try to, but I have a hard time believing that Alex's wrestling is not improving. Especially, actually, it looked improved against Jan. It looked improved against Jan in that fight. And then technically, the knockout against Jiri was takedown defense. So it's going to be interesting to see with that. Now with Alex, Alex just does what he do. We'll talk about the fight with Jiri a little bit. Do those feeler kicks, those little gamesmanship kicks you do in the beginning of your fight. You kick at the legs, try to gauge your range, see if you can get Hill to extend and catch him off one of those. But then just keep your angles and just light up with your counter punches until you could land some flying knees, land some head kicks. Because I think that you will see more high body head kicks from Alex against Hill. Because what it's going to do is it's going to keep Hill's guard like this. It's going to keep that rangy jab right here as opposed to being used. So I think there's a very good chance that that's what we're going to see there. I'm leaning Alex, but I would not believe, I thought that Glover was going to beat Hill too, and Hill kind of beat up on Glover. So we'll see. Either way, tons to do there. Let's see what else. Who gets some honorable mentions that we haven't spoken about. I have my phone here just in case. Ryan Spahn, no. Vulcan, no. Khalil Roundtree, I mean, he's always in a fun fight. Somebody's always getting knocked out in his fights. What else do we have here? Let's see. I mean, that's really a Dustin Jacoby losing. Yeah. Nikita Krylov, we'll see what happens his next couple fights. Anthony Smith, always in the picture. Love Anthony. That's what I got, guys. Anyway, so please like, subscribe, and share. We are the Fight Look now, or we're just Fight Look. And tune in. Let me know what you think here.